Hi guys, my name is Crystal and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well guys, it's very cold this morning. It's very cold, and I'll ask Alexa in a minute what the temperature is. Alexa, what's the date today?
Today is Saturday the 15th of January.
Alexa, what's the time?
The time is 8:50 a.m.
And Alexa, what's the temperature?
At the moment, it's 2 degrees Celsius. Today, you can expect a high of 7 degrees.
So, Alexa, what's it like in Rochester?
Right now in Rochester, England, it's 2 degrees Celsius with fog. Today's forecast is partly sunny weather, with a high of 7 degrees and a low of 2 degrees.
So we've got some fog out there. Righty-ho. So last night, me and Crystal took Max out for a walk, like I normally do every night, around 7 o'clock-ish. And I hate walking the dog at the weekend, especially Friday and Saturday night, and even Sunday. It's busy. Obviously there's lots of kids about. Chihuahuas don't like children. They yap, they bark. So basically I took Max out, walked around Concrete Wharf, down the bottom, down the Parkside outlet where they're building homes near the Blue Crane on the wharf. Walked past there, nobody about at all, pitch black dark, but the nice bright lights of the houses light the way. Really nothing remarkable. I think there was a couple of lads sat on a bench, and as I started walking down the road path, they got up and walked off and walked away. And then you've got the skateboarders in their car park, you know, with their music on, and they're skating and they're shouting in there. And I walked around onto the field. There was one gentleman with 2 dogs, and I walked past him, and then pitch black, walk with my torch, walking around just so Max has a bit of exercise, I have a bit of fresh air. And then I headed back home when I saw one of the ladies that's in my block of flats with a bun in her hair and glasses going into the co-op with a couple of children. I haven't got children, but in the dark, you know, it could have looked like me quite easily, but I don't have any kids and I don't drive. She got out of a car and went into the co-op as I walking past and took her 2 kids in there. So I walked back home, you know, trying to keep safe, and came back into my flat and then put Last of the Summer Wine on the television. I like that. Watched a couple of episodes of that, and I sat down, made myself a cup of coffee, listened to some music, and I was listening to Big in Japan, which is a song of the 80s, and the group Japan was a group in the 80s. I grew up in the 70s and 80s. I especially love 80s music, and I was listening to Big in Japan, and I like that song, and I like 80s music, and I spend a lot of my time reminiscing about how I grew up in the 1980s. In the 1980s, I went to County Wicklow in Southern Ireland with my friend from school called Sally, and I was 15 years old, and I enjoyed it very much. That's somewhere where I could live, you know, great big countryside that area was, full of country and greenery and fresh air. So I did listen to music, and then later on I watched the DVD called Solace, and there was an autopsy in it where they were sawing off a child's brain, and obviously it's not real, because in a film it's not real, took the brain out of the kid's head and discovered the child had a small brain tumour growing, because this serial killer was killing off people that were dying or had something that was going to cause them to die in pain. So this serial killer was killing them off so they didn't suffer pain. That's what he thought. Anyway, very good film. Bit frightening. I shouldn't have watched it before I went to bed, but there you are. I didn't know they was going to saw somebody's head off the top of someone's skull and take the brain out. I didn't know they was going to do that, but then it's a murder film. I should have known. Then I had messages to my phone, and it's obviously, I think it's an Asian person, because they're calling me dear. Now, my mum had an Asian man around her house yesterday with glasses. I didn't. I've had no one in my flat for, must be a month, over a month now. There's no one's been in my flat. And they want to pop round and give me a bit of their cock. That's what I had last night. They want to come round today, Saturday, and give me some cock. But they need to know my address and postcode. And obviously I have not given a strange person that's randomly said they've kept my number off of a dating ad. That's where they've come from. And you don't give out obviously your flat and number and your postcode. So I've had that. They've texted this morning. They want my postcode and address, and I haven't replied. I told them yesterday they live too far away. I've been getting this for quite a long time and I just ignore it. The builders are working on a Saturday. They'll work to about 2 o'clock on and off right down the bottom. Obviously I'm going to get trouble upstairs. I know that. I'm ready for it. Yesterday it was before, last weekend it was before 11 AM. They all started upstairs. Alright, kids running up and down on the ceiling. So we know it's going to happen again at some point. I don't know why I'm getting this harassment and why it involves, I'm a woman. And Jennifer said yesterday she was protecting me from my dad. That's why she didn't invite children into the flat. And yesterday 2 Indian children came into my mum's flat with that Indian guy with the glasses. I don't know what's going on. I can't stop it. But why I'm being harassed and accused of things I haven't done, I don't know. I just have to live like this because it's been going on since 2008. The Queen had an annus horribilis. I think it was 2011, I'm not sure. 2008 was the year I had an annus horribilis. I allegedly got raped. I lost all my children. I came down here to get help and I didn't get any. I lost my flat up in Gloucestershire and everything was taken off me. Right? So I remember 2008. And one other fact maybe people don't know about me is I had a job at GEC Avionics in Chatham in 1986. Because I came down to Chatham with my parents originally, and then I moved to Gloucestershire, and then I came back here again. So I had a job as a library assistant at GEC Avionics, the aircraft company, in 1986, and they were calling me Sarah Ferguson. because I had copper hair and I wore my hair in a bow. So I was being called Fergie at my job. Fergie. An unknown fact for you. So everybody have a lovely weekend and see you later.